What's up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. And today Samantha is up here with her Subaru Impreza, and what we're going to be doing is a 5-speed swap. So we got it up on jack stands right now. We're just going to drop everything maybe today, and then tomorrow we're going to go ahead and try to do the swap. So what we got going on is we're just changing up the oil and taking everything off, and then that's going to be it for today. So I'll update you guys as we go. It's not going to be a full like DIY, but yeah, so super excited, and I'll show you guys the 5-speed swap as well. So here we have the swap, and it's from another Subaru Impreza, about a 98 L as well. And we got everything from the transmission to the rear diff to the axles to the ECU, manual cluster. So it's going to be a pretty easy swap, hopefully. And then yeah, that's gonna be it. So super excited. We also got some stock 2.5 RS suspension as well that are still pretty good, so we're gonna go ahead and swap those out into the Subaru too. So yeah, I'll see you guys, kind of just update you guys, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so just a quick update, and I removed all these bolts, and I moved this arm here, which is the steering rack, and then we took out the axle here, and you can see this one's pretty beat. It's really ripped up. So we got the replacements as well. That's why we're taking it off, but we have to take it off so we could drop the transmission. So that's what we're doing. And on the rear, we've pretty much done the same thing, and we removed the exhaust, and then we're gonna just go ahead and drop everything as well. Drop all of this, drop the diff, and then the whole drive shaft as well. And so you can see the exhaust is off already. So yep, update you guys as we go further. We got the rear diff out and all the drivetrain pretty much except for the transmission. So just gotta take out the transmission now, but all we have to do is or what we'll have to do is remove a bunch of this stuff like the brackets. I'm gonna be removing the gonna be removing the cruise control because that's not going to be used anymore once you go manual. I think there's like a different one, so we're going to take that out. And then you can see here, this is the rear diff that we took out along with all of the drum brakes, because we're going to go to disc brakes too, and we have the rear disc brake conversion, so we're going to be swapping it out to that as well. Yep, so yeah, so all we have to do is remove this bracket right here, remove the cruise control, and then we should be able to drop the transmission once we take out all the transmission bolts. Alright, so quick update on the 5-speed swap. We just took out the transmission, and you can see it's dropped here, but we haven't taken out the torque converter yet, which is right here. And what you have to do is take out those bolts right there, if you can see, and there's about maybe 6 bolts, so you have to kind of have this angled and then get to it, and then just take off each one individually. And how you get to this is you have to remove the sway bar and then drop the steering rack like this. And so after that, we can finally get access to these bolts, and then what we're gonna do is just take it off. So I'll show you guys after we remove it, and then we'll go from there. It's a new day, and yesterday these 3 bolt heads were stripped or rounded off, and so what we had to do was grind it down all the way until it was gone. That way the flywheel actually came off, or the flex plate for the torque converter, and once that came off, it released the pressure, and now we're able to just remove these bolts like this. And so we got lucky because these bolts actually weren't seized into the threading, and so they just came off, and so it's pretty easy now. So yeah, if you have a rounded off bolt head, you could grind it off, and then it should just come off like this after it releases the pressure. So yeah, we should be able to clean this off now, put the flywheel on and the clutch. Okay, so I just installed the clutch and the flywheel, the pressure plate. It's all on now. Just gotta take this out, and then should be good to go. Still gotta install the steering shaft, so I have to drop the steering column again, and then we can install the steering shaft here, and then Jeffrey installed the rear diff, so we just gotta install the transmission and the drive shaft. After that, the whole rear end is already on too, which is the rear brake conversion, the rear disc brake conversion. And then after that, we should be good to go after that. Still gotta figure out the clutch pedal assembly and the clutch cable wire. That's gonna be a little different to do. And then we also have to jump the neutral safety position switch, which we'll figure out after we install everything as well. But yep, that's the update for now. I'll update you guys once we put the transmission and the drive shaft on. What's up, guys? It's a brand new day, and we went to the junkyard to get some plugs for these right here and for this too, so we could jump the neutral position safety switch and we could jump the speed sensor. And so I'll show you guys how we do this to make it more OEM and a little bit easier to do. And at the junk we also found these. So these are clear headlights and they look freaking good. They really match these clear amber lights that she has on here, and they look so good. So this is the original headlights right here, and you guys can see the difference. So these are kind of hazy because they have the lines, but these are super clear and it looks really good with this corner light right here. So yeah, pretty cool come up at the junkyard today. Makes the car look a lot cleaner, a lot better. And so yeah, we're gonna put the bumper back on and then go ahead and try to finish the 5-speed swap today. There's still a lot to do. You can see our list up there. It's a lot to check off. So we finally went and put the rear rotors on, and we had to go to the AutoZone to get some brake pads because the one that we ordered weren't the right ones. So now we have the right ones, and they go in like this. And there we go. Now we have a rear disc brake conversion in the back too. So it has disc brakes all around now, and the braking should be a lot better. Super cool. No more drum brakes. We have the e-brake cable set in. So all we have to do now is install the transmission and the drive shaft and a few more things, and we should be done. So yeah, I'll keep updating you guys on the progress of the 5-speed swap. So you can see here, I'm going to put this and try to install it first, or maybe we can install it on the car afterwards. But yeah, we just got to put this under the car and then bring it up. So yeah, see you guys in a minute. Okay guys, so here's a quick update. And for the manual trans, you're going to have to tap the hole at the bottom for the starter, because the block for the automatic doesn't have this, and it cuts off straight right here where it's black. And so as you can see from the automatic trans, there is a stud here that they put so that you could mount the starter on. And so what we had to do was use this tap and die set, and the tap that I used was a 12.15, and that's this bolt here. And then you could use it to put the starter on, and then you're gonna have to actually drill the hole on the starter here to be a little bit bigger. So once you do that, then you're able to put the starter on, and it should be okay after that. So we'll see if that works. We got everything else up. We're still trying to wire up the neutral safety switch as well as the reverse lights. There's like other little things that we need to wire up, which is kind of complicated. And then we also got the rear disc brakes on with the new rotors and everything. And for the rear here, my sister didn't get the banjo boat style brake line, so what I did was I got a S13 one from my old S13 calipers, and it actually works. So we just had to bend it a little right here, which I can show you guys later if we do take off the wheels again. And then I just zip tied it kind of like that. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but yep, it works, and it doesn't scrape on the wheel or anything. So we'll see if it still clears once we lower the car. If not, then we're gonna have to go to the junk again and actually get the correct hose. So that's the update for now, and then let's go ahead and try to put the transmission in. Once we do that, then we could actually put everything else together and then maybe get this thing started. Alright guys, so we got the transmission in, and here are the sensors again that we wired up. So this is the neutral position switch, and we got the reverse lights, and we extended the speed sensor because we used the original one. So you can use your automatic one on the manual trans if the plugs are different, because this one's a two wire plug and the other manual one is a 3-wire. So all we did was extend it from the harness, and then that way it could reach the sensor further back. And so all we did was find these plugs right here, and we tapped into it. As you guys can see, we cut these because we don't need the TCM anymore, or the TCU, but we do need these plugs. So this plug goes into one of the speed sensors, or this plug goes into one of the neutral position switch, and the other one should go into the reverse lights. And as you guys can see here, sorry I don't remember the numbers, and the colors will vary depending on what make and model you have. So you just have to look at the FSM and look at the pinouts, and those will tell you. So this is just ground, and I believe this is for the reverse lights, and then this one is for your neutral position switch. So that way we could actually start the car without having to worry about it being in neutral anymore. And then we got everything else buttoned up. I took out the oil cooler lines because the manual tranny doesn't have that, and only the automatic one does. So that's it. The transmission is in. We actually cleared a lot of stuff because we're not running cruise control no more. So this bracket is a little different from the automatic one, this one right here. So we're not gonna have the high bracket here for the intake box, but it should be okay with just sitting here. We'll figure that out once we put that in. We got the clutch, you see we got the clutch cable in, and we got the throttle cable, so everything should be good now. Just gotta put everything back on. We have the transmission in, so we just have to, right here, we have the transmission in right here, so we just have to put the drive shaft in now, and should be good to go. So right now Blong is fixing the, what is that, shifter. Some of the threads are kind of messed up, but we got the shifter in, it's good. We have all the pedals in as well, the pedal box, and these are OEM Subaru Impreza pedal covers that we put on. Just need to find the gas pedal. And then this TCM is what you'll probably remove if you don't need it. If you have ABS or you have cruise control, you're going to want to keep this in. We're keeping it in because we wanted to run our reverse lights and our neutral position switch through this box, so we are keeping this as well. I know a lot of guys, they just remove this and then they'll hot wire their neutral safety position switch a different way, but this is a more OEM way, and hopefully we don't throw codes this way. So that's what we're gonna do. We just gotta mount this back up, then we should be good to go interior wise. We do have to take off this steering wheel and remove the cluster so we could put the manual cluster in. Okay guys, so it's actually been one whole week pretty much. We've started Monday, today is Saturday, and it's been a lot of work to get this car manual swapped, and we finally got everything. The most difficult part was the wiring. It took a lot of research to figure out the wiring and get it all started, but now as you can see, it is manual swapped. It has the shifter now, clutch, brake, and we finally got it to start. So there you go, the car is on. When I go into gear, you could shift gears now. The clutch is fine. The only issue is the brake. So Blong and Jeffrey went to the junk to try to get better brake lines, because it seems like it's not very squishy, and it doesn't seem like it's working well. So I think those S13 brake lines, they weren't working well, so they went to go get actual Subaru brake lines, and we're gonna see if that helps with the brake. because it's pretty smushy right now. But finally got the car started. Once we get the brake lines in, we could finally go and take this car for a test drive. So all the wiring that I showed you guys previously, that's all different now. So let me go ahead and explain the wiring correctly to you guys, and that way if you do your swap on this specific model, which is a 1998 Subaru Impreza L, and if you want to do a manual swap to that, I know the ECUs and the plugs are different. So okay, so like I explained previously in this video about the wiring, just go ahead and disregard that. And so what we did was we only used this 12 pin plug here, and that actually wires your reverse lights and your neutral safety position switch. So with the manual Subarus, you have an extra plug here, which is this, I believe the brown one, this brown one right here. This is also a neutral safety position switch, but it's not needed if you are doing a manual swap conversion on your Subaru. So you're gonna go ahead and just disregard that plug. And if you remember, we tried to pin out this 16 plug. That one's disregarded as well. And all we're gonna use is this gray one. So this gray one, when you wire it up, it's actually going to be your reverse lights, and you're gonna pin it into this 12 pin plug right here. So they're gonna loop in together, and as you can see we did here. So here's the wiring, and this is all you need to get the car started. And I actually went to the junk and I went to another automatic Subaru and pulled this plug off so that we can make this sub harness here. Otherwise you're gonna have to cut your harness here from the automatic transmission, which if you don't mind doing, that's fine, but I didn't really want to do that, and so we went and got the harness from there. And then like I said, with the speed sensor, this is a 3-pin plug for the manual transmission, but we grabbed the speed sensor from the automatic transmission, which is a 2-pin plug, and all we did was extended it to the original harness because it sits back here now. And so I'll show you guys that too. Okay, so I took off the plug so that we could get a better view of it, and if you can see here, this is the top of the plug. This is where the connection is. This is where you're going to be pressing it. And so if you want to so if you look at it here, you can see there's these 2 nipples here that kind of indicates that this is the top of the plug. And so all you're going to do is turn the plug around once you make your harness, and you're going to see these 2 bottom ones. These are your safety neutral position switch sensor plugs. And so what you want to do is just loop them together like this, and this will actually jump your neutral safety position switch. So this is what helps you to start your car, whether it's in neutral, in gear, or whatever. So you're gonna have to be careful when you do this, because you have to check it when it's in neutral before you start the car. Okay, so you have these 2, and then if you look at the other 2 bottom ones, these are for your reverse lights. So you're gonna want to just plug these in and splice them into that gray plug that I was talking about. So you can see it there. That gray plug goes into the reverse light sensor on the transmission, and so you're just going to wire it up and put it onto these 2 gray plugs. And so like I said, this is actually the bottom of the plug, and this is the top of it. So if you want to look at it like that, that's the top, this is the bottom, and you just want to do that. So this is the top of the plug, this is the bottom, and the 2 right are your neutral safety position switch. The 2 left is your reverse lights. And that's it, folks. That's all you need to do. It's just going to be that, and this will turn on your car. So far there is no check engine lights yet. We have removed the TCM, which is the automatic transmission control module. That one is gone now, and you can see here now, this is the speed sensor. Sorry, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but this is the speed sensor connectors. And so we've just extended the plug here, and then we brought it all the way down to the speed sensor back there. So it's all the way back there. You might be able to see it, but that's all you have to do. Just extend the wires. And if you have a 3-prong plug already, you don't have to extend it. You just have to plug it in, and it should be fine. And then that's it for the engine bay. So once you do that, you're able to start the car. And like I showed you guys before, that 2 little switch here. There was 4 wires here under the automatic shifter, and 2 of it went to just a LED light. The other 2 you have to just splice together. That way you're able to release the keys on your ignition, and that's it. I think I showed that. This is the TCM. It looks like this, and it's gonna say have these certain numbers that look just like that. It's a 3 plug. You just pull out, and you don't need that anymore. And then you're gonna pull this plug out too. It's just a shift lock unit. You don't need this, so these 2 will go out of your car. I believe you keep your TCM if you have ABS or cruise control, which we're not using any of that. So this box, we're just taking it out because we don't need it. And so you want to keep this in so that you're still able to have ABS and cruise control. And then for the ECU, let me go around and I'll show you guys the ECU too, how we wired it up. And then after that, you should be good to go. Okay, so here's the ECU, and what we did was we depinned pin 80, which is your automatic something switch, and you just take that one out. You don't use it. Then you take out pin 81, and then you just go ahead and ground that into your chassis. And so it just needs to be grounded, and once you ground pin 81, it's going to tell your computer to go into manual mode. So when you do your manual swap, you need the ECU to know that it's going to be in manual mode instead of automatic, and then you should be able to run your car correctly without any engine codes. So that's it. There is no difference between automatic and manual transmission ECU. All there is the sub harnesses that go to it, that grounds it and tells it to go into either auto mode or manual mode. And so one good thing about doing the swap, if you have it, is this whole harness here. So if you can find the whole sub harness, the whole under dash harness from a manual, then it's going to help your swap tremendously, because it will just help the ECU know it's already going to be grounded for manual mode, and then you just plug it in and you should be good to go. But if you don't have the harness like we do here, you're going to have to depin the 81 and ground it. But double check these numbers because I don't want to give false information. And then so here's another ECU, and this is from a newer model, so like a 2000 RS or whatever, and you can see the plugs are going to be different. So there's actually 3 plugs, where this one is just one big one. And so I believe from this one, I think it was pin 52 that you have to do that to. And like I said, I'm not sure. Again, you do have to double check that, but from reading it, I think I remember it said pin 52, and that's the auto to manual grounding that you'll have to do to get this ECU to go into manual mode. And then other than that, that should be it. Once you're done with all of this, make sure your ECU is grounded, connected, because you don't want to fry anything. It needs to be grounded. And other than that, your car should start after that, and then you should be good to go. I don't think there's anything else. Like I said, we're lucky because this model isn't ABS, and we took out the cruise control, so it made it a lot easier. We really simplified this car. Okay guys, so you can see the car is finally out on its own. We got it to start and drive, but there is 0 brakes. So what we had to do was order this, and it's a brand new brake booster. It's the same one for the Subaru Impreza L, and this is a single diaphragm brake booster. So there's 3 different ones. There's a double diaphragm, a single diaphragm, and then there's the ABS booster. And I know a lot of guys on the forums are saying that the single diaphragm is a good upgrade if you have a double one, because it kind of makes the braking more singular and a lot better. This one's originally a single, but I don't think it's good anymore after all these years, and so we just decided to get a brand new one, and we got it from AutoZone. We actually ordered it online, and it got here within 1 day, so that's pretty fast. And so yep, Blong is just taking it apart right now. We're gonna go ahead and try to install it and see if it works, and hopefully it does. Hopefully this is the issue. We already upgraded the 15/16 brake master cylinder, which I'll show you guys right now. So this is the new master cylinder, and if you look on the side about over here, it's gonna tell you the sizing of the cylinder. And when you do a rear disc brake conversion, you're gonna need something bigger than the original 15/16. You're gonna need at least a 1" or even better if you could find it, it's a 1 1/16 of an inch. So this one's only 1" but it should be more than enough. We got this from a 1993 Legacy at the junk, and it fits this older style of brake boosters, and so it looks like this. And yeah, that's all we had to do. The wiring is not correct yet, but I didn't want to cut the wires or depin it yet, so you can see we depinned it here, and then I'm just gonna depin the other plug if we need to. But that's it, and it fits, and hopefully this is good still. It seems like it's good, so we're just gonna swap out the brake booster, and then okay guys, got the brand new booster in, the 1" master cylinder, and we just re-bled the brakes. So how you bleed the brakes on the Subaru is the front passenger, the rear driver, front driver, and then you're gonna go to the rear passenger. So that's gonna be the position that Subaru wants you to bleed your brakes. I know it's not the traditional method, but that's what it says for Subaru. And then another thing we noticed was, we never did this, but the caliper was on the wrong side, because the one on the left, or the right, the one on the right here, the nipple is down here, and then on the other side the nipple is down here. And as you can see, for the right side, nipple should be up. And this was something we didn't catch because it was already like that on the car, and that was part of the reason why the brakes were so mushy already. And that might have been the reason why that thing was burnt out, because it was too much pressure for that, and it was working overtime. Because see, we made sure that the rear was like that, but we never went and double checked the front. So could have just been that not bleeding right, because when the nipple is down, the air is stuck up here and it doesn't bleed out. So yeah, everything seems fine now. We're gonna put it back on the ground and then see if we got good brakes. So far it feels good. So yeah, we're gonna put it right back down on the ground and then take it for a test drive. All right, we just took it for a drive and it felt perfect. Finally got brakes on this thing. Maybe we didn't even need to change out the booster, but the booster was pretty bad, so it's good to change out anyways. That 1" master cylinder really helped it out a lot. The brakes felt amazing now. So I also wired up her bumper lights because they weren't even wired up. So now my sister has working bumper lights as well, and they look freaking good. So nice to have all the lights working. They also signal as well, because I wired up to the fender lights over there, so now they're all wired up and they signal when they need to be. So yeah, that's it. This 5-speed swap took a little longer than we all expected. It's been such a long time. I think it took us almost a week and a few days, and so yep, hope you guys liked this video and hope it actually helps some of you guys out if you're doing the same swap as well. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video guys, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.